Hello world. On this segment, we are going to be going through VBA using our Excel, especially using the developer on our ribbon. So here we are going to develop a loan amortization schedule, and at this point we are going to go on our developer tab where we are going to interact with the insert. Under insert, we are going to be given an option of creating what we call the user forms. When you tap on the user form, it allows you to create a form. But at this point, we already created our form, which is our login form for our loan amortization. And for our user form, we use the text boxes, which enabled us to create the login. As I was saying earlier, we are going to use this text box to create all these to manipulate our data. We use text boxes which enabled us to input this data in the user form. We used a code which enabled us to make sure that the password and the username are both strings, and that keyword was dim as string, then the variable we wanted to create. In our program, when someone taps on login, it was to enable the user to input their password and username, which were both default. As you're going to see later on in our example, the password was 2025 and the username was BBC by default. Thank you.
So, as my colleague has talked about the login area, I'm going to talk about the loan entry form, where the user is supposed to enter the loan details like the member ID, username, loan amount, interest, repayment period, and then he or she should submit. So, our major aim is on the submit button. That's where the magic appears, because any item, anything that is put in the other text boxes which you have seen, like the ID, the loan amount, when the user presses submit, that data will automatically go into the spreadsheet. And so here are the codes of the button, of the submit button, which are going to be activated, and they put direct the work into the loan loan worksheet or loan workbook, where the data and information about the clients is going to be displayed.
To add on what my colleague has been talking about, these are the codes that are in our button, and we started with validating data, whichever data that the user is going to enter into our text boxes in our form. So we first validated the member ID. We're like, the member ID shouldn't be left empty, and if it's left empty, then member ID, the message box is going to print out that the name and the member ID are required. So we validated also the loan amount. We said that it should be numeric and the value should be not less than or equal to 0. So this CDBL means that we are converting whatever value entered in the text box of loan to a double. Yeah. So, and we said if a user enters a non-numeric character or a negative value, the text box will display for them that it should be a positive and numeric in nature. So we did the same thing for the rate, and we did the same thing for the period too. Besides, we have what we call trim, because you've seen you have been using trim here. Trim just takes off the default not even the default, like the spaces that the user may leave in between the names. Yeah, the unnecessary spaces. So after doing this, we assign variables to our data that is going to be entered in our text boxes. We said member ID will be a string, name will be a string, loan amount will be a double, and rate will be a double. And besides, we have created a worksheet. A variable WS will be a worksheet. Yeah, and the worksheet name is gonna be a string. Yes. So after creating our variables, we have declared, actually assigning. Yeah, we have initialized values to our variables created, that whatever is going to be entered in the text box member ID is going to have the variable called member ID. Name the value going to be entered in the textbook name. Yes, don't be confused about the CDBL, because the CDBL means we are converting all this value entered to a double, convert to long, something like that. Yes, so after that, we created, remember we have a worksheet in our workbook. Yes, that we want to add. So this is the code that adds the worksheet, and then we said the worksheet name is going to be loan application. So I wanted to create columns for each of the variables here. So I used an array and I resized from the cell 1 to cell 7. Yes. And if the system finds an error in this, they should go back to the first step. That's why this thing says on error, go to 0. So you go back to the empty thing and then you do the process again. Yes. And then here down, we create, remember we are preparing a repayment schedule. So after creating these variables, now we created new cells that are going to bear the value to our variables assigned. Yeah, this is how we created the new cells. Yeah, it means like the next cell put the value to the member ID variable. Yes. So remember they told us in our question that we should rename the repayment schedule or the loan application to the default name entered by the user. That's why here I said sheet name is loan something, but then we're going to replace it with our new name. This is what it means. Yeah, so we created another new worksheet that's going to bear our loan amortization schedule, and we are going to have the beginning balance, the interest, the principal, and the ending balance. So here we declared our variables. Yes, and then we are going to call upon the inbuilt functions in our Excel to calculate for us the interest, the principal. So this is how we call upon the inbuilt function to calculate. We say application.worksheet function dot the name of the function that you're calling out, then it's like the process or the formula. So after creating that, calling upon our functions, besides, we put the loan amount into a negative format. I did not choose that. I just made the whole formula negative. It's on your opinion. So here we are assigning our values to the variables that we created there. So whatever is going to be entered in these variables, yeah, it's going to be determined by the users.
In continuation to what my colleagues have been saying, this is how our login form looks like. Our password by default was BBC in capital letters. BBC in capital letters. Sorry. And then password was 2025. Then when you click login to bring you login successful, welcome. Then you press OK. Then our form will appear. Then where you have to enter the data, our member ID, for example, is Z1, the username, Nicholas. Just put Nico. Our amount, loan amount will be 300,000. Interest rate will be 5%. We're not going to put the percentage because it was already input in our codes. Payment period will be like 2 years. It will be 2 years. Then when you press submit, to bring our loan application repayment schedule has been successfully created. Press OK. Then you have to close the form. So when you come here on our Excel sheet, this is how it will appear. Sorry. And this is how it will appear, our 300,000 as we put. This is our final loan amortization schedule. This is how it has been run. Thank you. Subscribe for more.